Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the first transmission of 2021. This is the home of the money pick, and I want to celebrate a little bit because this was a huge year. First of all, I want to thank you guys for sharing the videos and hitting that like button. That has helped immensely. And then this week 17, we've seen just kind of things slow down. But once the wild card starts, we're going to go full frontal ahead. We're going to get money picks. I'm going to be breaking down every game. But most of all, I just wanted to start off the show with a thank you for you guys, especially the Patreon subscribers, but to everyone who supports this show, because it's difficult to get big on YouTube now. It's not like it was back in like 2009. It was like the Wild Wild West. The algorithms work against small people, and they normally just benefit corporations now. But we know that how it is, and we don't need to complain. That's why you guys sharing the links and hitting the like button was so important. We're showing up big in the algorithm, and I really appreciate it. And plus, that's the most important reason for this show is we've been making money this whole year. It's been an incredible year, and I'm looking forward to it. And today I went on a little bit early because the Notre Dame game and the college football championships, I wanted to respect that because I figured a large portion of you guys would be watching that. I'm going to get to the Patreon questions first. We got Rocky Balboa in here. Hello, Rocky. We got Marlou in here. He says Happy New Year, he or she. I think that's a male. Yeah. And then 6X Shorty says money, money, money. Yes. We got, dude, this playoffs is going to be huge. I'm really excited for what we can do in the playoffs this year. I think we have a lot of opportunities for money picks in the playoffs, and there's going to be some easy bets. When you get to week 16 and week 17 of the NFL season, there might be one or two easy bets a week. But if you're betting 4 or 5 games when it's week 16, week 17, you're going to be sweating. You're going to be feeling pressure. That's just how it is in week 16 and week 17. That's why you see a lot of people just kind of check out week 17. Although we will get some money picks this week. We got some ways to make money, but the playoffs is going to be absolutely huge. Jack Mason's in here. Jay Martel, what's up? What's up, Michael Mann? Happy New Year to everyone. Christian Galdos. I'll start off with his question, then I'll get to the Patreon questions. Hey, Lawson, what you think about Derrick Henry over in rushing yards? Christian, just write what the over-under is for him in rush yards, then I'll answer your question. Let me start with the Patreon questions. Okay, Stephen Martinson's asking, have you done a soccer show on your new channel? Are you going to do that after the NFL? I will be uploading a video today there. I'm sorry for the delay about the soccer channel. I know I've been hyping it up for 2 or 3 weeks. I appreciate you guys who did go over there and subscribe. Link is in the description if you want to subscribe to that soccer channel. I will be uploading a video there tonight. I promise. I'm sorry for the procrastination, but yes, a lot of stuff has been going on with the NFL. I'm still waiting for the Christian Galdos guy to comment Derrick Henry's rushing yards. My comment section is a little bit behind because I'm using Streamlabs. Christian Galdo says his prop isn't out yet, but it should be around 110 to 118 yards. That's the problem with a lot of the prop bets. That is one thing that really annoys me about the prop bets because they don't come out early enough in the week. And I was trying to do the prop bet show, and we would record Friday and upload it Saturday, but a lot of the games wouldn't even have prop lines available on Friday, which was something that kind of blew my mind. I mean, I've never been a big prop guy. I do bet a few props when we get to like the AFC Championship or Super Bowl. If we have a good feeling, of course, I'll put those on the money picks. But yeah, I was a little bit shocked with how slow the prop lines go. I would go over. But you have to understand this bet is dangerous because Tennessee could pull away by 20 in this game by halftime. If this is a close game, you're going to win your bet. But if you think this has a chance to be a blowout or lopsided, I wouldn't make the bet. I would look for other and greener pastures. Okay. Brendan says, do you find week 17 more difficult to bet on because teams are resting guys? Yeah, week 17 is the hardest week. Last year I hit big on week 16 last year, and week 17 I floundered. But week 17 is a week normally people sit it out. Even week 16, some people sit it out, and that's one thing I've discovered. And make sure you guys turn on your notifications as well. Make sure you guys turn on the notifications. I forgot to say that in the intro. But yeah, week 17 is always complicated. Week 17 always has a ton of traps. That's why I have to be very, very careful this week when I post the money picks on Patreon. Kevin, what do you think of the Cardinals going from +1 to -3? Kevin, I'm a little bit worried about this game. The more I think about it, the more I think it's not a money pick. I am really worried about this young quarterback that the Rams have. And obviously McVay snatched him up and McVay believes in him. And then we're hearing things about the Kyler Murray leg injury. That is concerning. That is extremely concerning when you look at what Kyler Murray does, when you look at how he plays the game, how much they rely on rollouts and read option. Kyler Murray with a bum leg could be a problem. And you still have McVay, and we don't know if Cam Akers is going to play. That was one thing I was looking at today, because if Cam Akers plays, I could see the Rams upsetting the Cardinals in this game. So, sir, I did not like the line movement, and this is one of the few times that the line movement has kind of scared me. At -3 just feels a bit too much for the Cardinals. I think there's a heavy possibility they lose that game. The more I think about it, I do think they lose that game. I'm getting through the Patreon questions first, then I'll get to the questions on the live chat. Sorry about that. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Alan Corrales, hey, Lawson, what is your management strategy during betting? When you win, withdraw what you have invested or reinvest what you earned? Normally, I'll reinvest what I earned, and I'll only get a payout. Well, I won't. How should I say this? I don't want the tax man on my back, but I do like 3 or 4 payouts a year. But you don't want to make those payouts too much, because if like 12K arrives in your bank account, it's going to cause some problems. It's going to cause some questions. Like I had that situation with Bitcoin and gambling. One time I withdrew like 11K from a betting site. I was working like 8 months on this specific betting site to get it up to that far. Okay. But so I deposited it, and then they had to bring me in for questioning and stuff like that. Had a similar thing with Bitcoin. Like when I put like 2K, 3K, 4K Bitcoin in my account, bank doesn't really notice. But once you start getting like 6, 7, 10K, that's when the bank notices. So you have to be careful about that. So I would suggest withdrawing in Bitcoin early. Mr. McMizzle with the super chat. I appreciate it. $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the show. Happy New Year. Okay. Default 3. So, okay. Yeah. He was just writing a question, but I actually liked his question. Default 3, 100% right, John. I think people who even look at it on a week-to-week basis aren't made for this. I've been down thousands to back up thousands simply by only playing straight bets at 3 to 5% of the bankroll every bet. People expect handouts and don't really realize how many minute things are outside of our control. As I always say, only we can do is make solid bets that make sense. What happens on the field is outside of our control. You have hot streaks, you have cold streaks. Don't worry about these types types of guys. Their expectations are delusional. They're delusional. Your insight alone is incredible. I thank you, sir. And I want you guys to be patient. And that's the one thing I've been saying this whole year. I'm trying to get you guys out of this, just trying to land the biggest nut possible. I want you to land I want you to land like 700, 1,000 small nuts throughout the year instead of 2 gigantic nuts. Then you're taking 40 losses to get 2 gigantic nuts. You see how that doesn't add up? And this is about patience. In a way, I don't want to be one of those guys, but sports gambling is a beautiful thing. But at a certain point, you have to look at it like investing. You have to look at it like long term. And you always have to be patient. And like that guy said, he's just betting 3 to 5% of his bankroll every bet. Straight bets, no parlays, no games. He's just doing that. And if he has a bad week, he's not worried about it because he knows he'll be able to get back up as the weeks go on. And we have to be patient. But yeah, it's definitely like a long-term thing. And a lot of people like thinking short-term, which I understand. Getting short-term gratification is awesome, but honestly, like I'll even use an example. Okay, I love playing a particular soccer video game, not FIFA, but Pro Evolution. I don't play a lot of video games. But when I do play, I really like playing. Like it fucking hits the parts of my brain. I'm like, yeah. I'm loving it. But at the end of the day, the next day I won't feel really well, and would have wasted a bunch of time. I would be better off reading a book or watching a sports game, analyzing film, because that can actually help me. It's just the thing about long term. We got to think long term with the bet. So I really like that comment by that guy. That guy knew what he was talking about. Default 3 on my Patreon. Nick R. Hey Lawson, what do you think of the Bucks -1? Let me bring up my spread and matchup key before I get to this. Okay, let's find it. Okay, okay, let me get to the question again. Okay, Bucks -1. I like it, but you know that is a little bit dangerous because I'm sure you watched the last Atlanta game. Titans -1. Yeah, I think that's a good bet. I see a lot of people talking about teasing the Titans with another favorite to win. I will caution people about this, though. I have seen absolute crazy things happen on week 17. For instance, I saw a terrible Bengals team with 3 or 4 wins beat a really good Ravens team to get the Ravens out of the playoffs. And the Ravens were like a 15-point favorite as well. So there will be crazy things happening, but I did like that. I'm going to answer this question real quick on the live chat. Do you trust stat numbers or matchups more? Matchups. I like stats, but stats can easily be construed. Like, for instance, a lot of people are saying the Colts were the best defense this year because of stats. Now, ask yourself a question. Are the Colts the best defense in this league? I'll give you another example that Pro Football Focus tried to pull one year. And I'm the biggest Fitzpatrick fan there is. They said at the end of the year of Ryan Fitzpatrick with the Jets, I believe his first season with the Jets. No, yeah, it was with the Jets. Fitzpatrick's first year with the Jets. Pro Football Focus had Ryan Fitzpatrick ranked as the 4th best quarterback in that league. Now, was Ryan Fitzpatrick the 4th best quarterback in that league? And a lot of things are variable, like time of possession can change stats. A defense can have bad stats but be great in the red zone. That doesn't translate to stats. And a lot of the stats that are used, for lack of a better word, are like basic bitch stats. I'll give an example. Here's an advanced statistic that in theory sounds good. I'll use this for soccer. They have an expected goals stat. So, for instance, they'll total your shots on goal, your possession, your created chances, and they'll give you an expected goals for each game. Everton was at like 1.9 expected goals per game, and West Ham was at 1.1 expected goals per game. And I was reading the guy saying that this is an easy bet. You're going to make money on this. And then I was watching this game, and the stats didn't make sense because West Ham had 10 men behind the ball. They were playing gritty. They were getting in tackles. They were stealing the ball. And West Ham ended up winning 1-0. So this expected goals thing doesn't really help anything. And the NFL, people get too obsessed about stats. We don't need to churn it into baseball. And we've seen what stats have done to baseball. They've actually killed the quality of baseball just with the way people bring stats into everything. At the end of the day, Vegas has all the stats. Vegas has the sophisticated computer that can meld all these stats together in a formula. So I don't think exploiting stats does anything for you. Really, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Not with how complex these computer models are that Vegas uses. We're no longer up against 9 guys in a smoke-filled room who are setting the lines Monday morning. We are up against maybe 4 or 5 guys in a smoke-filled room with about 100 computers spitting out all the possible possibilities down to the very last punt of the game, what time that will be. So that's what you're up against. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is watching film. A stat that is used to make the line doesn't help you one bit. How does that help you? How does that help you? I don't see how it helps. Lawson, too much can change with one kick or slice of luck in soccer. Yeah. And we've seen this year in the NFL. You could get a push. You can make the perfect bet. You could, everything could work out. And then the Saints still get that push on Kansas City if you didn't get it at minus 2.5. So there's a lot of variables. Let me keep working on the Patreon questions. Let me get to it. Josh Couch, what do you think of the money line parlay of the Titans? Yeah, you got to think the Titans are going to win, right? He's got the Dolphins, Ravens, Indy, and the Browns. Dude, I don't know if the Browns are going to win that game. And you have to, all those teams are risky. Like, I don't know about the Dolphins this week. I wanted to put them on my teaser plus 10, but I didn't even feel comfortable enough putting them on my teaser. So I do not like that. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that parlay will work for sure. And guys, let me ask a question for you guys. Let me talk about to you guys. Like, don't you guys feel something crazy is in store for this season before it ends? I mean, we saw the Browns lose to the Jets last week. That was a little bit predictable with the COVID situation with the Browns, but it was still a huge surprise, especially when the Browns threw it like 50 times and they only ran it like 14 times. There were some huge surprises, but I feel like something crazy is going to happen. So I think it's going to get complicated. Sheev, hey Lawson, love the content. Was just curious, are you an NBA fan? I used to be a huge NBA fan. I haven't watched a game in quite some time. I'm going to have to start watching it because I need content for the off season. Definitely. Yuri Owens, do the Eagles really have an incentive to win on Sunday night? I see the argument. Like, I get the argument that they don't have the incentive to win, but I think they're going to go out and ball. I don't know if there's too much quit on this team. And it's not really an organization where there's like a lame duck coach. So there's not a coach coming back. We all know the coach will be coming back. And I think that will have a big effect. And I really like Jalen Hurts. I really like the stuff he's doing. It's not even the throwing. It's more of him being physical and him changing the landscape of this Eagles offense. They're running it more. Let me keep getting to the Patreon. And if I miss your question in the live chat, just leave it again. John Sablon, do you watch a lot of game tape? If so, how many hours do you study before you make your YouTube videos or Patreon picks? The YouTube videos... Well, I do the spread picks on Tuesday, so I watch like 2 or 3 games I didn't see on Monday. So I would say I watched probably about 15 hours. And I watch it as the week goes on. I know people get really, really mad if I change my mind. Like on Tuesday, I'll pick one team. Then on Friday, I'm saying, okay, let's hold off on that. Or like, let's go with the other team because of this, this, and this. People don't like that, but that's how it is. And this podcast helps me a lot. I'm not talking about even the money I make from it. This podcast helps me a lot because it helps me organize my thoughts as the week goes on. And you should be doing a little bit of research as the week goes on. So I'd say probably 12 to 15 hours. I actually used to watch more. Before I got really into gambling soccer, I used to watch more NFL, if you can believe it. There were weeks where I would watch every single NFL game. Seriously, I would watch every single NFL game. So yeah, as the way this podcast is moving, I think next year I will, because I'm going to get a new house and I'm going to set my shit up so it's just comfort. Me, it's just watching football all day. And the off season really kills me with the NFL. That's the only bad thing about the NFL, the off season. So when I come back, I'm going to be like a junkie just wanting to watch games. Okay. When the season's over, I'm willing to talk NBA and boxings. If anyone want action on couch to cover 7 on Ohio State, that defense is trash this year. Yeah, I think Clemson's going to cover that. I actually like that pick, and I've been riding. I don't bet a lot of college football, but I placed 3 bets this year on college football, and 2 of them were on Clemson, and they came good. But I will admit I haven't watched Ohio State this year, but I felt like they're not really ready for this. They've only played like 5 or 6 games, right? Okay, let me keep getting to the Patreon questions. Someone wants Steven Rasby. He wants me to grow a cowboy mustache. And I've been doing your bets on soccer and mine as well, and we've kicked ass on both, but I make it back up. As you say, you got to have okay. Okay, he wants me to put a $sign next to soccer bets that are a sure bet. I will start doing that. I will start doing that on the Patreon. Okay. That was productive. David Austin, Lawson, can you just throw in 3 to 4 anytime touchdown score this week? Derrick Henry. That's the first one I'm going with. Does it count if Tom Brady throws it? Tom Brady. If it doesn't, let's maybe get to Locke or Hurts. Hurts will get a touchdown this week. And let me get to this Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. Chubb. So those are some players. I don't know if they rule out quarterbacks in that. I never did that. Hector Perez with the super chat. What's up, big man? Thanks for the money picks. Just one comment for Patreon. People need to also do their own research and stop thinking picks are always going to be winners and crying in the comments. Yes, I have made a lot of dreams come true this year. And so I think that makes the expectations high. But I am not Santa Claus. I do not have magical powers. I just do the best I can do. And we've done really well this year. So, but yeah, the heat you get, and sometimes they get me clamping up. Like I'll have a soccer bet, you know, it's not the most guaranteed thing in the world, but I know people want action. I want a little bit of action. I want to throw $75 on a soccer game if it's a boring afternoon and if I think I have a good vibe on it. But some of the pressure they were giving me, that I was even like clamping up on that, you know, and I can't be like that. So honestly, I have to ignore some of the comments because I have to be calm and I can't be like getting pressed, you know, like I'm some sort of dude in the office who boss comes in and say, you have to do this. You have to go to the seminar. You have to do this. And the dude starts feeling pressured while he's doing his paperwork and stuff. And that's no way to work. In my opinion, no. But yeah. So yeah, I agree with that comment. Most of the people are cool. There's always going to be some spazzes. You know how that goes. Just some people just spaz the hell out, and I know it's tough times. People People haven't had their best times. No, your daddy, Lawson, you missed a super chat. No, I didn't. I never missed a super chat. If so, make sure you write the name and the person who sent it, because I got to get to it. Okay, I like this comment. This one actually had me thinking a little bit. Okay. Chris got Heat 23. Why don't people put $5K on a Titans-Ravens parlay to win $2K? Is it a viable strategy to bet huge amounts on big favorites that you know are going to win? Yes. Last week, you remember when on Patreon I put down Tampa Bay money line, and I got it at minus 480, and I got a lot of flack for it. People didn't like it. People felt like, Lawson, you're losing my juice, and saying stuff like that. But I saw the Tampa Bay game, and I'm saying, dude, I am going $8,000 on this one game. I am going all in on this one game, and this game will pay for every bet I make the rest of the weekend, and it's an automatic thing, and I was getting hate about it. It was easy, and you need automatics. You need automatics in this, especially with how crazy this COVID is, players missing games, NFL players don't practice anymore. You need automatics when you can get them. And I gave him an automatic. I said, I'm going huge on it. I'm putting the whole college fund on it. And then that was one thing I didn't understand. People started complaining about juice. That was one thing that really got me. Yes, betting favorites is a good strategy. You have to be careful when you do it. I would only put that on if I knew 100% chance it would happen when I do something like that. When I don't take the value. When I put, for instance, remember Tampa Bay against Atlanta a few weeks back? A lot of people like Tampa with the minus 6.5, and a lot of people got screwed by that game. Whatever, it's minus 6, minus 5.5. You guys remember the scenario. On the Patreon, I put down Tampa Bay money line. Okay, and I won. But if I would have took the spread, I would have lost. That was just another element to it. So I don't want us going too crazy on the favorites, but at a certain point, listen, I view that when I post something on Patreon, when I post that Tampa Bay one on Patreon, I'll tell you what I was thinking. This might not be appropriate for YouTube, so let me choose my words carefully. I was thinking almost in like a Japanese samurai-like manner. If I don't hit this, if it doesn't come to fruition, like think of it. If you don't win this bet, someone's going to come over and just end your life. I was thinking in those terms. And I was like, dude, this is 100% chance, especially when I saw these COVIDs were out. This is one I'm putting a huge amount on. And it helped. And so that was the direction I was going in on that. So I answered your question in a roundabout way, Chris, but that's what I'm looking at. I like that. It's just $5K on the Titans and Ravens. It'll go good, but the Titans have choked a lot. So you want something a little bit more automatic, but then again, you'll probably win on that. Your chances of winning are huge. And when you bet big boy money, you get big boy payoffs for less risk. That's just how it is. Yeah, Bears money line was fine. I mean, I was sweating in that first half. I mean, you saw that interception Trubisky threw. All right, I'm working through the Patreon questions, and I'm going to get to the YouTube questions. I started working up a sweat. Okay, here we go. Adam Werner, what were the worst and best teams to bet on you for this season? Raiders were good. Broncos were good. But mostly the Raiders and Broncos carried us during like the first like 7 weeks because we got some crazy upsets. Betting against the Patriots was a strategy I used all year, and it's on documentation. I even made the separate video, Miami against New England. I've been betting against New England this whole year. You guys know I don't like betting Thursday nights, but the people on my Patreon know. But the people on my Patreon know I even made the Rams against the Patriots a money pick on the Patreon. So a lot of it was betting against the Patriots. The Seahawks were a team I did bet a lot, but I ended up breaking even on their games. The Titans were a team that killed me this year. I'm not saying I didn't hit big licks with the Titans, but I think if we did the math, I think I would end up actually below with the Titans, which is something that's strange because I was saying the whole year that the Titans were the best team in the AFC South. I still believe that. I still believe the Titans are better than the Colts, and I think I will be proven right once the year ends. But it didn't result in any sort of financial gain, which was a bit of Donnie Hossein. Only bets I lost was Vikings. Yeah, dude, the Vikings. I don't bet my own team too much, but I did throw a little bit at the Vikings against Dallas, and you guys saw how that went. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm through the Patreon questions. Let me double check. Timely Tornado. Howdy, John. Yeah, my spirits are high. My spirits are high. John Sabler. Okay, I don't want to miss a question on Patreon. I wish I should. Okay, Michael Colgrove. Hey, Lawson, what do you think about the Dolphins money line? Also, what 2 games would be your lock? Sorry for the double question. Mike, you will see my locks, but one lock I have this week. Let me go to it. I like Pittsburgh plus 10. Especially, I like the Pittsburgh with the points, and I know that sounds risky, and I don't think a lot of people will exploit it, but I really like that Pittsburgh plus 10, and I have been liking the Giants. There's a lot of things to scare you away from the Giants, right? Giants are a team I've won a lot of money on this year, but lately they've been costing me, although I haven't put them on as money pick in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. They cost me like 4 weeks ago. One that really pissed me off. It was against the Cardinals, I think. So I like the Giants, and I really like the Eagles. And I know people don't like betting the NFC East because those teams are just so bad and they're so inconsistent. So I understand anyone who said, I'm not betting NFC East. I'm staying the hell away from this. I'll let you vultures try to fight for the crumbs of this catastrophe. So that's so those are games I'm looking at. John Nuzilo says Happy New Year. Thank you. I'm making sure I don't miss the questions. Thank you, Brian Stevens. Thank you for the $5 Canadian. Really appreciate it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm through every question. I'll leave the questions in the YouTube channel. I'm gonna just get water real quick. And here's the thing. Here was a question on the Patreon. One guy was telling me I got to do more. I have to do more NBA. But here's the thing. I'm not an expert in it. And every time I go to try to watch a game, I lose interest. I don't star videos. We need winners this week. Yeah, but we have the playoffs, right? We still have the playoffs. The playoffs are. I'll say something right now. The playoffs are the easiest thing to bet in the NFL, in my opinion. There's like a groove for me. This is just for me. There's a groove between week 5 and week 11 where I always kill it. Then there's a groove like week 13 to week 15 where I always kill it. But then I think the one that I think I've always killed the most historically is the playoffs. But yeah, we're gonna get something this week. Hey, Lawson, just wanted to say I fully support you betting on the Panthers for once. Panthers hate the Saints, and it's the last game of the year. I have to believe they'll show up for that game. Yeah, they will. Dude, the thing about the Panthers is this week, week 17, I feel like you need a PhD in psychology because you have to judge motivation. You have to judge who's going to show up. You have to judge who hasn't thrown in the towel. And then you got a team like the Panthers that haven't quit all year, and that's going to help. That's going to help a lot. Max LeBron, what do you think about boxers? I used to love boxing, but they've killed that sport because no one good wants to fight anyone else who's good. And the problem with that is you'll see Floyd Mayweather. Who did he really fight? He fought Pacquiao when Pacquiao was damn near 40. I love Floyd Mayweather. I was a fan. I started watching him when I was like 11 years old. It was really, really fun to watch. But boxing has kind of been degraded to just a spectacle, a sideshow. Jake Paul fighting Nate Robinson. Isn't that where we're at with boxing? Can't we just say boxing is dead? And UFC is much better. And I think UFC has the personalities. I mean, outside of Floyd Mayweather, who technically is retired, what other personalities does boxing really have right now? I mean, if you're a Hispanic dude in the United States, I'm sure you love you some Canelo. And, I'm sure people love Triple G who are like Russian and shit. But at the end of the day, what does that really resonate for any of us? And then the sport, you guys think the NFL's corrupt? You guys complain about some of these crazy pushes coming out of nowhere in the NFL? I think you guys would damn near have a heart attack if you bet on boxing. I did watch a boxing match recently, Anthony Joshua against Puvliev. I believe so. It was rather disappointing. It is what it is. Yeah, I like the heavyweights. I've always liked the heavyweights. I love Tyson Fury. Yeah, really, Tyson Fury is really the only one who's a mega star at this point, and he's really the only one who's good at what he does. Like, he's got power. He moves around like Ali. And the fact that he was able to beat Deontay Wilder is crazy because Deontay Wilder, if God wanted to create like some sort of like Spartan superhuman warrior, wouldn't Deontay Wilder come out the other end? I've heard he's good. I've heard Gervonta Davis is good. Like I said, boxing is good. Joe Young, you're tripping, Fury. Come on. How did I heard the rumor about that Furry put like some substance in his gloves. Come on now. And that first fight was epic. The fact that Tyson Fury was able to get up after that knockout, like how can you take credit away? How can you? John G291, even though it's fake, did you ever like WWE? Yes. I feel embarrassed for saying it, but I really liked it back in the day. Like I liked like fucking the Big Show and all them. It was awesome. Yeah, dude, and Tyson Fury, it's just his whole story is cool. And I was a big Wilder fan for a long time. He was like the only boxer I was watching for like a good 6-7 years. So I'm a Wilder fan. I'm a Fury fan. I like watching them fight. And they do this stuff for the public spectacle, but honestly, like they're actually like friends in real life. So they don't really hate each other. They just try to get this hate going at each other to sell a fight. And then, come on. J Deuce, Clemson versus Ohio State, the over. What's the over? I know it's Clemson -7. I think Clemson covers that. Clutch. Okay, here we go. Well, I got the Giants. I got the Eagles with the points. I'm flirting with Pittsburgh. I'm flirting with the Panthers at the +7. I haven't heard any news from the Saints yet. I haven't been educated on what's going on with the Saints yet, but I will be educated before I post them on Patreon tonight. Buccaneers are. I agree. The Buccaneers are the most dangerous team in the NFC. Listen, and I'm not digging a trench here. I'm not trying to be contrarian by any means, but the Buccaneers, I think they'll get out of the NFC. And I think anyone who's watched a lot of the NFC this year knows that there's no alpha, there's no dominant team in this NFC. So I think the Buccaneers can get out of here. Although the Buccaneers have made me a lot of money, but they also lost me a lot of money. And I think we've all been on that train. But, dude, we're going to get good spreads in the playoffs. Like, imagine if the Buccaneers have to go to the Saints. Like, it's going to be like Buccaneers +5, Buccaneers +6, Buccaneers +4. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. And Green Bay is a little bit – I am starting to worry about Green Bay. About my Tampa Bay prediction at the beginning of the year. I am worried about it. David Lawson, really quick, can you throw 3 anytime touchdown score for week 17? I think I did that already, but I said Chubb, Henry, and if you want to make something up and get some really good odds, go for Madison, the guy who's going to play for Dalvin Cook this week on the Minnesota Vikings. So, yeah, I like that. Okay, Mr. McLizzle. What about the Dolphins in a must-win game, Lawson? Buffalo resting starters and Fitzmagic has COVID. Is Tua playing? Tua should be playing, correct? Let me just double-check that. Yeah. But here's the thing. What the is? Yeah, and I'm trying to figure, and I just went on the internet, and I'm looking at the first story. Ex-NFL GM Mike Lombardi wants to know what the F is so elite about Tua. That's pretty much what I've been saying all year. Monique Francis in the house. What's up? Stephen Hill. The Jets is going to win. Wash hands. Yeah, the Jets will win. Actually, that is a money pick. You want a money pick? You want a lock? Jets against the Patriots. And this podcast has gone against the Patriots so many times this year. It is only fitting to end week 17 with a loss to the Jets. And I might even do a video about that. I might do a video just specifically on that game tonight, because I honestly, I don't have anything against Patriots fans, and I don't have anything against any of my subscribers, but I do have a group of about 25 to 30 subscribers. Anytime we talk about the Patriots, they either A, get mad, or B, they'll start recycling these talking points. Like, we'll be talking about Tua versus this front seven. We'll be talking about Cam Newton and no receivers. And instead of like actually commenting and disputing some of the points some of us have put forth about the weakness of this Patriots team, you'll just hear Bill Belichick's the best coach in the league. Or Bill Belichick kills rookie quarterbacks. And like these same comments, they're just brought out here week after week after week. Did you guys see a piece of news this week? This was kind of interesting. It was on Pro Football Talk. A guy lost $700K and then another $400K this week betting the Patriots against the Bills to beat the Bills. It's just insanity. See, that has been one thing we've been able to exploit this year. It's just the public overrating the Patriots, but also Vegas overrates the Patriots. And it's not about anything that has to do with what goes on the field. People just feel intimidated by Bill Belichick. And John G., this kind of sums up my feeling. I don't know. you always have to be cautious when betting, and you always have to say, yes, you are facing Bill Belichick. That is dangerous. Bill Belichick is legit. And Cam Newton, if he does play, although they might start Stidham, I haven't seen the new news on that. I haven't seen the new news on Stidham starting, but yes, the Patriots are a little bit dangerous. I agree, but every team's dangerous in this league. This isn't Barcelona against Valencia. This isn't Real Madrid against a second division team. This is legit equally matched teams with equal salaries. So there's always danger in the NFL. I just don't know why you guys are riding the Patriots for so damn long. And yeah, I didn't understand it. Like, sometimes you got to get off. Listen, sometimes you have to ride the wave. You have to ride the Kali Yuga, so to speak. There's going to be up and downs in the season, and you can't just get off a team because you lost one bet. You know, I hit Chicago last week. I swore earlier in the year I would never bet him again. But the evidence was changing what we were seeing on the field. And what we're seeing on the field from the Patriots, I just don't know how you guys thought they were going to beat the Rams. But you could say the same thing about me last week with Tennessee. I want to be fair. I thought Tennessee would play a lot better against the Packers. I mean, that was one of the most pathetic showings I've ever seen. Matthew Hughes, dang, man, just get me like that. I honestly didn't see. So, like, there's a lot of comments, and you have to understand, I use Streamlab, so sometimes it filters comments, if you understand, and it's hard for me to keep up with them. So that's why I just tell you guys, just write it again. Just write it again. I'll see it eventually. My thoughts on the Broncos Raiders. Broncos win, but the Raiders are the better team. We can all agree with that. But I'm thinking out loud here. I don't want to go too philosophical here, but why did they fire Paul Guenther? Like, I know the defense wasn't performing, and I saw the games, and yes, it was a little bit disappointing, but what did they think firing Paul Guenther would accomplish? There's plenty of head coaches in this league who would feel lucky to have Paul Guenther on their staff as defensive coordinators. That's just me. I like the style of defense. And it just feels like this Raiders team, this train's just going off the track, and there's going to be an explosion. And then you got Locke coming in. Locke, you saw him last week against the Chargers. Like, he puts up the garbage yards in the fourth quarter. It's week 17. The Raiders are demoralized. The Raiders have nothing else to play for. Locke comes in. He puts up his 275. Broncos fans will be writing on Facebook, "We have our franchise quarterback. Thank you, Elway." And then everything will be great in Mile High Land until week 1, when they actually play a team that is motivated again. We've seen this story before, and the Broncos are going to get up for this game. They are, and that's the funny thing about it. Yeah, and I can't believe the Raiders choked again as well. I really can't believe the Raiders choked again. And like, I came on here and I was wrong. Monique Francis, this is the NFL. You never know what can happen. Thank you for the super chat. And yeah, that's exactly it. And week 17 is crazy. You're going to see some crazy shit. And you're going to see one of these teams like the Colts choke. You might see the Titans choke this week, even though I don't think they will. There's going to be a team that chokes. Even when you're looking at this Ravens-Cincy game. Ravens are playing good. Ravens are peaking at the right time. We're finally starting to see Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews get into a symbiosis. The Ravens are playing really good ball right now. But I would not be surprised if Cincinnati was in this game in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's just how week 17 is. I've seen a bad Bengals team keep the Ravens out of the playoffs before. Okay. Broncos should get Matt Stafford. Let me get to the questions. I don't want to miss anyone's questions. If I miss your questions, just send it in again. And I think I see your questions maybe on like 1-2 minute delay. Yeah, like soccer bets do have a little bit of a low payout. I agree, but I do a lot of them. Like I can like on a good week with a lot of games, and if I have a good feel, I'll make like 8 or 9 soccer bets a week. I could never do that for NFL. If I did that for NFL, I would be living in one of those tent communities in California, waiting for the VA to. No, I don't want to go too into it. It's actually really really sad. Um, okay. I'm looking at the old questions, but just leave them again so I don't have to scroll up. Steelers plus 18, like sitting. Hakeem, I actually like the Steelers plus 18. I mean, there just feels like there's something left in this Brown story, right? There feels like there is something that could go wrong in this game. And I know you get Mason Rudolph, but I don't think the Steelers are going to be resting as many people as the journalists are saying. I've seen this stuff carted out here many years that no, there's going to be no starters on the field. Then the starting offensive line, the starting D line, the starting secondaries out there. And if that happens, Cleveland's in a vulnerable space right now. And then garbage points. Whenever you have a plus 18, you get the covers because the garbage points. You would be surprised how many plus 18s, plus 13s actually have a percentage of covering. Like the times I've gotten ripped the most this year is when I take a plus 14 or plus 15, or like when I took the Jets plus 12 and a half against the Bills earlier this year. Sure, I got ripped. Sure, it looked stupid, but it comes good because garbage points in this league are a very, very real thing. Penelope, what are the top 3 teams you would parlay? I'm not really a big parlay guy, but I'll do some food for thought for you. I would probably go Giants plus 2. I would probably go Denver plus 2.5. I'd probably go Jets plus 3. I think you'd be good with that, but you never know. I know that's going to be at least 2-1, but once you start getting past there, that's where the parlays start failing. Bills sit starters. Yeah, John, from what they're saying, the Bills are going to sit the starters. I'm a little bit nervous about it. Like, honestly, if we were doing responsible gambling, my advice would be to sit out of the Bills-Dolphins game. I think it's one you should sit out. I know you guys don't like hearing that. I know we want to bet every single game at every single moment. But if there's any game to sit out, why wouldn't you want to sit out of the Bills-Dolphins game? Unless someone wants to come on here and tell me they have a good read on it. Who has a good read on it? It's just something nervous about it, even though you think, yeah, Dolphins should take care of business, right? Especially because the Bills have no motivation. The Bills will be resting a lot of starters. The Bills are looking forward to a wild card weekend. They're finally getting some fans in the stadium. I'm thinking about going. I'm trying to go. We'll see. We'll see. Clifton Smith, did anyone get screwed last week betting early before Xmas on the Browns game? I'm sure a lot of people did. There were a few on my Patreon, I believe, although I didn't tell them to select that game. I want to make that clear. Sunday, they closed the game so you couldn't bet on it. It freaking killed. Yeah. Clifton, you got screwed. And we got to find a better way to navigate around this. Listen, I've been posting my picks late. I'll post them like Friday at midnight, okay? Because I know some people go to the casino Saturday because they got an off day, or they go Sunday morning and they place the bets. But that's why I buy every possible minute before I put them up, especially in this COVID era. I mean, don't you have to be like that? Michael Cooper, thank you, Patreon. Do you only bet Brazil soccer bets, or will you start doing more after football? I'm going to start doing more. I was watching English Premier League this morning. I was eating some chicken wings. I'm on that Atkins low carb diet. I've used this diet before. It's an easy way to lose like 30-35 pounds in a short period of time. So yeah, I was watching that. I'm watching a lot of English Premier League, Bundesliga. Those bets will be up. I had one today I wanted to put up, but I didn't feel confident enough in it. But I have been watching the games, yes, over this Christmas season. Okay. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button. I don't have a big company sponsoring this show. You guys need to hit the like button. Thank you. That's how I get showed up. Damn, a lot of people getting screwed on this Browns game. Yeah, and I'm going to get a refill on my water, but I got something to say about this Browns game when I come back. And I think I'm going to take your guys' advice, and I think I'm going to go place this Clemson money line bet right now. Sorry about that. But I'm going to go do it because last time you guys gave me a little bit of a push on something. It came good. I think it was the Chiefs bet against the Saints. I ended up getting the Chiefs at -2.5 because you guys were pushing me towards it because you guys were like, yo, the line dropped. And I'm like, okay, dude, I got to capitalize on this. And I won by half a point. And I'm saying you guys helped me a lot, man. So I really appreciate it. You guys got some good ideas. Seriously, we got a pretty good YouTube channel in terms of people who have actual knowledge. There's a lot of idiots on the internet, I'm sure, as you've seen. Okay, let me just get to this. Okay, let's go look at the dude. My bookie is annoying as shit. Okay, here we go. So let's go to college football playoffs. Why can't you just list them all? Why do I even need to go to the Rose Bowl or Sugar Bowl? Okay, Notre Dame plus 20? What? That's insane. That is insane. Okay. Oh, this Clemson -290 isn't that good on the money line. So pretty much I'm going to have to put where the money where my mouth is and just go I'm pretty much just going to have to go the -7. All right, I'm going to throw a small bet at it cuz you know what? I'm going to be watching it with my family tonight. So, and you got to love Clemson. Just going to throw a little small bet at it. Nothing huge, like just a $75 bet. Tito Valet. I have a gambling problem. Jaguars on the money line. Let me think of how I want to comment about this. First of all, there's going to be one catastrophic upset this week. One of these teams will choke. I mean, guys, we saw how the Raiders choked last week against Miami. These teams will choke, okay? Especially when you got people like Baker Mayfield, when you got people like Phillip Rivers at the helm. Things happen. And when you have those guys at the helm, turnovers can come into play at any given time. I don't care that Phillip Rivers has taken care of the ball this year. And Jacksonville, they already got their number one pick. So if they go out there and win, it helps them. But here's the problem with Jacksonville. If they're starting Minshew, bro, you're not going to win that bet. You're probably not going to even cover the plus 14. And I'm no Glennon fan. I've always bashed Glennon. I know he's kind of like the hipster guy everyone's liked throughout his career. Glennon sucks, okay? And I hate people who put him in the same category of a Fitzpatrick because Fitzpatrick's so much better than Mike Glennon. It's ridiculous. But with that being said, the Jags plus 14 is probably a decent bet if Minshew doesn't start. But if you're betting the Jags to win that, you just like losing. And like I said, you might have a gambling problem. Yeah, like it's okay to admit you have a problem. I mean, but you should try to moderate it and not do anything crazy. And you should look at it as a business or just look at it as something as a hobby and just throw 50 at a game instead of going like 300 out of the Jaguars to win. Okay. Yeah, dude, listen, I don't want to like sound like I'm a psychologist here, like I'm Sigmund Freud taking notes on the couch. But at a certain point, the Browns are a mentally weak team. And here is the thing about the Browns that bothered me last week. Don't quote me on this, but you can go look up the numbers. I'm going to be close. I'm really good remembering numbers. I believe the Browns had 14 or 15 rushes and they had like 53 or 55 passes. And that's with all the receivers on the COVID list. That's absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. Hector Alex, Dolphins with the upset. I'm staying away from that. I'm staying away from that game. There's just something that is sparking me as a minefield when we talk about the Bills and Dolphins. Yeah, I really and the one I like, Dave, the one and just for everyone, the one I like the most out of all of this is the Jets plus 3. Although we saw it start at plus 5, and I would have loved that security blanket. We'll see what I post on Patreon. I might tell people to buy the point up to plus 4 so we can make sure we feel as comfortable as possible. Because I could see the Jets losing the game. It's possible, but I can't see them losing it by more than 3 points. You guys know what I'm saying? 16 minutes to Alabama. Anyone want? Listen, I saw 2 Notre Dame games this year. You guys will probably have more knowledge about me than this, but can anyone explain why the Notre Dame game is plus 22 or plus 20 and a half? Can anyone walk me through that? Does Notre Dame have COVID issues? Is the starting quarterback out? Because listen, I haven't seen Alabama this year, but I did watch a game with my dad. It was Alabama and Florida, and my dad's got a really good vibe on a lot of these things. And he was saying, man, that Florida could have easily won that game, but they just played really, really sloppy football that wasn't fundamental. So I don't know how good Bama is. I don't want to judge them just on one game. You guys know what I'm saying, but yeah, so that's my question to you guys. Yeah, but Notre Dame is weak, but they did beat Clemson. I know Clemson didn't have Trevor Lawrence, but that second string Samoan dude was no joke. But yes, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I get it. They're trusting in Saban, but killing people by 20. But it is college football. And that's why I'm not an expert in college football. Back in middle school, man, I would have killed it. I was killing it with the tickets. With the tickets you would get where you do the parlay, the 4 or 5 team parlay. I was killing it with college football, but I'd watch like fucking 15 hours a weekend. Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. I don't know. Mr. McLizzle, Alabama is the best team in the country. It's a trap game. Don't take the points. No, I wasn't thinking about taking the points. Literally, I should. I know Clemson's a lot better than Ohio State. I think Ohio State's really overrated, and I don't think they're ready. I have a decent read on that one, but it wasn't like when I got the Clemson -7, I put a lot on it. I put like a pedestrian 70 because I just want to do it for fun. Nick Saban's 90% against the spread. That's freaking crazy, man. Fair enough. I was looking for the information. Jim Hunter, college football +20 is like a +6 and that. Yeah, true, because and you can tell that I watch way more NFL than college because the +20, I was like liking it. you know how that goes. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm looking for questions that I missed. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Thank you. I'm going to go on probably until the Bama game starts. We can do that. If you guys want to go on longer, we can. Jonathan Ledesma, bear down. I like your last name, man. Live in game. Okay, James Lloyd. James, I don't know what you mean by this. Live in a game this week. Got to get a feel for the game. Oh yeah, I want to go to that Bills playoff game. I'm trying to get tickets. Oh, my battery's running low. One sec. How did that get unplugged? Oh, we're gonna crash. Okay, we're good. I should be good. Yeah, I really want to go to that Dolphins-Bills playoff game, but also not Dolphins, but whoever the Bills play next week. But I don't know how cold it's going to be. Yeah, and guys, about the Rams-Cardinals game, I want to make an official announcement. I am changing my pick. I will be picking that Los Angeles Rams to beat the Arizona Cardinals. I will do a video about it tomorrow. I'll get it up because there's a lot of reasons for me changing my pick, but I just trust Sean McVay more than Cliff at this point. And then I'm hearing that Kyler Murray has a leg injury, and that sounds like disaster time for me. And yes, I know Goff is out. We know Cam Akers is banged up. He might not play for the Rams, so they might have to go with a rookie running back as well. But even with that being said, I like some of the things McVay can do in this game. And we've been complaining about Goff for a long time. I think it's time we put our money where our mouth is. If Goff is as trash as we say he is, why can't McVay manufacture a +3 cover in this game? Why can't McVay manufacture a win in this game? Why can't this Rams defense focus in and hunt or hurt Kyler Murray? I see this lining up for the Rams, and I have to go with the fundamentals because I've always had McVay in my top 5 head coaches list, and he's proved me right once again this year. So we will see how much of this is McVay, how much of it is Goff. I'm leaning towards a large part of this offense being productive due to Sean McVay. That is essentially what you're betting when you're betting the Cardinals against the Rams. You're not betting Woodward or Wolford or whatever the young quarterback's name that's coming in. You're not betting the Cardinals defense. You're betting, is Sean McVay gonna just take over this game, and how good is Sean McVay? You guys don't mind doing the same thing with Bill Belichick, even though Sean McVay has a lot better talent than Bill Belichick on that team. I guess I'm playing the same game they're playing. Bill McDonald, I'm posting one today. My bad on that. My bad for the lack of post on the soccer videos. I appreciate you guys who went over there and subscribed. Link is in the description. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the videos. Yes, a soccer video will be up tonight. It's going to be a quick one. I just have one pick to put up there. Okay. Just Derek. How do you feel with this week 17 matchups with only one team having playoff implication trends historically? What trends historically is shit goes off the wall and teams choke away playoff berths. That's what I've seen the last 6, 7, 8 years. I've seen teams choke themselves out of playoffs in miraculous ways. So that's what I think is going to transpire. These games are going to be closer than people think, and there will be a few choke jobs. You have the Cleveland Browns. You have the Indianapolis Colts. Those are two teams with a target that makes me nervous. And also, think about if you guys ever played a sport, especially football. By the end of the year, you are tired and you are less motivated. Yes, that is a fact. That is something that is a reality. No matter how much you love football, you just get beat up and tired by the end of the season. This doesn't matter if it's Pop Warner or NFL. I'm not comparing Pop Warner high school football to NFL, but let's be real, it has a little bit of the same wear and tear on you, mentally as well. But that last game, it's your last time with this team, and you always see these teams come up and bring in the energy. There's going to be guys who are playing for jobs. There's guys who are undrafted who will be getting an opportunity to get significant playing time. This isn't like preseason. This is full speed. They will be hitting. They will be playing complex schemes, and you will see some surprises. And there's teams who don't do well with pressure. When you don't have an elite quarterback in this league, a lot of times your team just isn't good in pressure situations. I don't want to make it too simplistic, but when you have Baker Mayfield out there, the haters are ready, the knives are ready. We all want to see Cleveland kind of choke this away, even though Cleveland has been very good to us financially this year, betting them. There just is that pressure, and some people don't do well with the pressure. People like Baker Mayfield don't do well with the pressure. We saw it last week against the Jets. Yeah, I do think betting that Notre Dame one is a bit crazy. That's just betting shit to bet it at a certain point. But I got a good read on the Clemson one. Am I wrong on that? Jared, I got Clemson for -7. Did you take the -9 to get better payout, or was that just what came up for you? Okay, here we go. David Chavez, is your NFL teacher bets up? Dave, it is. And for some reason, people aren't getting notifications this week, and it is really, really troublesome for me. And the views are down because of it, but I think the views are down because of week 17. It just always happens. Everyone kind of checks out on week 17. But yes, Dave, my teasers are up. Make sure you turn on the notifications. I'm sure YouTube will like to suggest plenty of other things other than little old me. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications. The notifications are really important. Yeah, so make sure the notifications are on for everyone, because during the off season they're going to just disappear my channel. And I'm going to have future bets coming at some point this off season, and that's stuff you don't want to miss. AJ says you want us too much money. YouTube doesn't like that. No, they don't. They want you going, working a job, paying taxes. They want you slaving, and they want you to be a functionary in this evil, evil system we have. That's what they want. They want you working in an office. They want you stressed. They want you thinking, damn, can I pay my car bill this week? Or, dude, they cut my hours, or they took my job because of this disease. How am I going to get my money? They want you like that. They want you thinking like a slave in a way. That's what they want. So I completely agree. Yeah, it's just, and I've just never had that like slave morality type thing. And, Adonis Iverson, FanDuel my way out. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a reason people do crazy things for money, because people have people to support. Like a lot of people on this who watch this channel have people relying on. Let's be realistic, whether it's family, whether it's kids, whether it's a wife, there's people relying on you. And it's scary when the system isn't really set up to make people make enough money. Even if you work hard, you don't get ahead. That's what they always told you. If you work hard, you're going to be great and everything's going to be easy for you. No. If you work hard, dude, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to get served a hot pile of shit, pretty much. Here we go. Thank you. Yeah, come on after the season. All right, guys, last call for questions, because this game's going to kick off in about 10 minutes. Last call for questions. I'm going to answer any question that hasn't been answered. Make sure you answer your questions. I'm going to stay on for 20, 30 more minutes, but give me some more questions. Yeah. And Blade, you want to know something scary? The people living today might be more slaves than back then, and that makes people really mad, and no one wants to hear that. And, no one wants to hear that. But, dude, there's a lot of slaves in this country. And they'll watch the TV. If TV tells them something, they'll do whatever TV says. If TV says jump off a bridge, they'll jump off a bridge. If TV says a 6'7" buff man is a woman, he's a woman. Like, if TV says this, people do it. It really is scary at a certain point, and I am getting scared. But yeah. Adonis Iverson, who's winning MVP? I think Mahomes, right? It has to be Mahomes. I know there's been a push for Russell America Wilson, and he really stalled the second half of the year. And people always complain. They say, "Oh, why hasn't Russell won the MVP?" Because he stalls. Like, there's going to be 5 or 6 games where he doesn't put up stats. And let's be honest, people love the stats, and that's just going to overshadow the MVP talk. And is there anyone really messing with Pat Mahomes in this league at the moment? Like, listen, I'm not even a big Pat Mahomes guy, but come on now. I was watching him a few weeks ago, and I was just like, dude's crazy. Like, honestly, it is the craziest stuff I've ever seen at a quarterback position. So I agree with the Aaron the Game Rodgers comments. I agree with Pat Mahomes. It's like kind of like it really is like choosing between gold and silver. It's like either way you're good, either way you're going to make a profit, either way it's going to keep going up, and either way it's awesome. But Pat Mahomes is the gold standard. Also, people should be talking about Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook. I feel like the conversation is fair to start. I feel like my top 5 are like this: Mahomes, Rodgers a little bit down here. You got Dalvin Cook. I think he's about equal to Rodgers. Then you got Derrick Henry. I think he's a little bit below Dalvin Cook, but you can make an argument to put him a little bit above Dalvin Cook or equal. And then number 5 is Tom Brady. And I know that Brady's one's going to get people mad. And then also you have to look at the type of season Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are having. And Stephon Diggs is the best receiver in this league right now, which is something that's beautiful to me. He's always been one of my favorite players in this league. So it's been great to see. It's really been great to see. So, yeah, that's my top 5 list. If you wanted to throw out Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry and put on like Stephon Diggs, I would not complain. But those are the guys. Those are the guys who are like honestly cutting it up the most for me. Where I'm just watching them, I'm like, damn. Like, did you see Diggs that Steelers game? Like double coverage, just running 15-yard ins, catching it in traffic. Come on, man, it's ridiculous. And then, and I always want to try to find a way to get it away from Mahomes because he has so many weapons and the team's so damn good. Like, yeah, I'm looking for a way to do that, but I just can't because Mahomes is too nasty. He's just too nasty. Coach of the year. It's probably going to be. Let me think. The first name that came to mind was actually Matt Rule, but you can't win Coach of the Year with 5 wins. But I really liked what he did. You got to talk about Sean Payton, and you got to talk about McVay. I would say, but McVay hasn't even solidified the playoff yet. Yeah, probably Andy Reid or LaFleur will get it, but I would probably go to Sean Payton. I feel like he's done a good job this year. Definitely not Bruce Arians. Focus Sports, Lawson, what's good, bro? I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. Blade 2012 running backs will never win MVP, unfortunately. Henry and Cook have had some great seasons these last 2 seasons. With a healthy Alex Smith, does Washington defeat Philadelphia and win the NFC East? Yes. But how healthy is Alex Smith? I am starting to get extremely worried about some of the things I'm hearing. I am really worried about it. Law C, Mahomes for MVP is 2-1. That's probably a pretty good bet. Keith Blaylock, there's a reason for that subliminal program and frequency manipulation. Yeah, I call it think. Aaron Rodgers, look at his TD to interception ratio versus Mahomes. Yeah, that's fair. But also look at one reason why I could see Aaron Rodgers possibly winning it is because Aaron Rodgers has Lazard and Devontae Adams to throw to and Aaron Jones. And look at who Mahomes has. Although, like, Mahomes is just too nasty to take it away from at this point. Ryan Murphy, Clemson minus 7.5. I put a little bet on them for -7 just for some fun. I think I put like $70 on it just for a little bit of fun. I think they will cover. Although I'm no expert, the live chat seems to know more about the college football than me, and it seems like they pointed me in this direction. I was feeling the Clemson too. I wanted to take a money line, but the -290, -300 wasn't exactly delicious for me to sink into. Okay. Will the Chiefs turn it up in the playoffs and start winning by double digits? Yes. And well, can I think about that for a second? Because let me think about that for a second. Because you got some good teams in this AFC. It's not like the NFC. If you put the Chiefs in the NFC, I think they would blow pretty much all these teams out right now, except the Packers. I know the Saints fans are ready to start writing comments and getting mad, but that's what I see right now. You look at the Bills. I don't think the Chiefs would blow them out. You look at the Steelers. It's possible, but Mike Tomlin in the playoffs, cold weather. I don't know. I don't know if it's that easy. You get the Titans. How? Maybe they blow out the Titans. You might have the Colts or Browns in there. Yeah, they'll probably blow those 2 teams out. Am I missing a team? It is tough thinking off the top of your head about standings. Am I missing a team? But yeah, I don't think it'll be a cakewalk. But if the Chiefs are in the NFC, I think it would be a cakewalk. I don't think we're going to see the type of dominance. Like, remember San Fran in the NFC last year, how dominant they were in the playoffs? I don't think we're going to do that. Sean Smith, what's good, John? Yo, Happy New Year, Sean. Is Miami beating the Bills Sunday? I have no idea. Literally, I have no idea. You would think, but there's no Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick, I've been saying it all year, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Fitzpatrick was the quarterback to take this team forward. I mean, we saw Miami win last week against the Raiders, but come on, man. But I don't know. This game really comes down to how the Bills come out and play, because Miami has elements. Even if the Bills came out with their first stringers, Miami has elements that can slow down the Bills. But this weather isn't too good right now up here. I'm close to Buffalo. I'm like 3 hours away. It's not too good up here. So I think that's actually going to hurt the Dolphins. But as of right now, I would say the Dolphins win. But it's tough because we don't know how serious the Bills are taking this. Oh, working 6 to 7. Mike Tomlin favored for Coach of the Year. Yes. Thank you. I forgot about that. I would go with Mike Tomlin probably. But I'm always been a Mike Tomlin fan. So that's where I'm at. How many times will Garrett sack Rudolph? Once. Actually, I don't know if he will. All right, guys. The Notre Dame-Alabama game is starting. Hit the like button, subscribe. New soccer channel. I'll have a bet up there tomorrow. Link is in the description. Go subscribe there. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year. Thank you for everything.